Hey guys, welcome to week 2 of the GPC. Evader, your coach of the New York Scraftys, and we're going up against Brandon and his Toronto Razor Leaves. I believe that's what his team name is called. Sorry if I mistook that. Um, so yeah, I'm gonna go over my team first before we go over the battle, and we'll go right into my team. And his team is Landorus Incarnate, Weavile, Mega Manectric, Registeel, Whimsicott, Tentacruel, Uxie, Magmortor, Como, Exploud, and Gorgeist. So some threatening mons right off the bat is Weavile, because it threatens one of my main threats being Landorus. Landorus Incarnate, because it is Sheer Force allowed, so that thing's going to be hitting hard. Whimsicott, because my team does not like status too well, especially since I'm not bringing Aromatisse this week. His walls, especially Uxie, because I have no real solid way of putting that down. So that's what we are scared of mostly this week. So I'm gonna go right into my team. Uh, just standard Charizard X. Those three moves allows me to hit everything on his team for good damage. Especially after I get +1. Don't have to talk about the EVs, they're just max max. I think all of my Pokemon are max max. I didn't do that intentionally, I just max max was the way to go this week. So yeah, after if I get to +2, I was pretty confident that I will be able to. I'm pretty confident that I will be able to just beat all his mons with this combination because it just tears through his team. He has no solid answer. His bulky water's Tentacruel, which drops to Earthquake. And to help with this, I'm gonna bring Cryogonal with Defog to get rid of Hazards for Charizard and set up screens. I have Freeze Dry also for Tentacruel because I don't want to be useless against it because Tentacruel will probably come in every time Cryogonal comes in if he knows I have Ice Beam over Freeze Dry. And also, Freeze Dry still OHKOs the Landorus, so that's why I decided to go with it. Dual Screens is just for support mons. This will help Charizard set up easier. This will help Primarina take hits better. Tangrowth is already lacking in one of its defenses, so a light screen will really help it. Especially since you'll see it's Assault Vest, so it can take on his special mons that would usually be able to put it down easily. Next up, I'm bringing Landorus, and I'm bringing Scarf Landorus. And this is just standard Landorus. I have U-turn to pivot, Earthquake for stab, Superpower because he has an Exploud and other things that Earthquake in turn really can't touch. And Explosion is a weird scenario thing that I just came up with. I highly doubt it would happen in my head, but I couldn't find a solid fourth move. It was originally Hidden Power Ice, so I could fight the other Landorus. But if it came down to Landorus v Landorus in the end, if he had Hidden Power Ice, he'd beat me. I wouldn't be able to do as much damage as him, especially if he was Choice Scarfed as well. So I decided to be Scarfed Explosion because Landorus can't. His Landorus can't one-shot me with anything. Hidden Power Ice doesn't one-shot me from his Landorus. Unless he's like max modest, which I don't think he will be. Because I do have Electros. So if it came down to Landorus v Landorus in the end, if he wasn't scarfed, or even if he was scarfed and he just didn't have a way to OHKO me, I could explode, and even though it would be 0-0 and I was suiciding, I'd still win. So that was the situation that was in my head that I couldn't get out of my head. I just kept thinking it was going to be Landorus v Landorus at the end, and I don't know why. So I put Explosion on my Landorus. So the next Pokemon we have is Electros. Physical Electros this time. Because it breaks through his team quite well. Wild Charge hits Tentacruel. It hits Tentacruel. Knockoff because I do want to get rid of a lot of these items. Uxie's leftover recovery could be bad. If I can knock off the life orb off that Landorus, that would be great too. Same with Gorgeist, because a lot of his team relies on like extra recovery coming in from leftovers. So to get rid of those items would be great. And also knockoff is just a no drawback move to have. Drain Punch for Weavile and Registeel. Mostly Weavile though, because if Weavile decides to come in, or if Weavile's in and doesn't switch out for some reason, Drain Punch would be the way to go. And HP Ice, obviously, for Landorus. I'm very scared of Landorus. I almost had Hidden Power Ice on my Mega Charizard X, actually, for Landorus. So yeah, but I replaced it with Earthquake because then I wouldn't have anything to hit Tentacruel with for good damage. And I guess Magmortar too, but I think my Magmortar would still drop to a Dragon Claw. Now Primarina. Primarina is an incredibly good Pokemon to bring against him. Specs, bulky specs, because looking at his team, besides Tentacruel, he doesn't have a single Pokemon that wants to switch in comfortably to a Primarina. There's Registeel. Registeel and Tentacruel is about it. But after that, nothing. Landorus drops the Moonblast. I don't even have to go for Surf. Weavile drops the Moonblast. My Manectric drops the Moonblast. Whimsicott drops the Ice Beam. Uxie will take 2 hits if it's physically defensive. It's specially defensive. I'll take it a little bit better, but still doesn't want to come in. Magmortar absolutely doesn't want to come in. Como dies like 4 times over. Exploud doesn't want to come in. Gorgeist doesn't want to come in on Moonblast. It can, again, if it's especially defensive. But if it's not, it's not coming in comfortably on Moonblast, let alone Ice Beam. So yeah, that was my reasoning for this Prim set. Hydro, in case I needed Hydro to Oko something instead of Surf. Moonblast, because there's nothing that wants to take it too comfortably except for Registeel. And Ice Beam, because those that can take both Moonblast and Surf are kind of weak to Ice Beam. That being Gorgeist and Whimsicott. So yeah, that was my reasoning for this Prim set. Everything's max. I didn't really plan for that. I didn't feel like I needed to creep anything or live any specific hit. So yeah, that was my reasoning for that. And my last Pokemon is Tangrowth, Mr. Noodles. AV, because he is very specially based, his team. He has the Landorus, the Manectric, the Whimsicott, the Tentacruel, the Magmortar, the Exploud. So he's very specially based. All of his like really key threats. And that's why I decided to go with AV. And that's what I was saying, because even though Tangrowth has really good defense, if I could get a Reflect up with Cryogonal, he can't put me down at all. It just can't happen. So that's why I decided to go with this spread. Sludge Bomb, just to hit Whimsicott. Hit Power Ice. I know everything has like an ice move. I'm really scared of that Landorus. Knockoff, again, because to get rid of recovery, and then Tangrowth can actually 1v1 things if it doesn't have recovery and it has a screen up. And EQ for Manectric, for Registeel, for Tentacruel, for Magmortar. He has a slight ground weakness, this is why I'm actually bringing Scarf. Landorus, like I said, I made this team a while ago, so I don't remember my keen reasons on things. He has a solid ground weakness, which is why I'm bringing Scarf Landorus, just to, if not beat things, and to threaten them. So yeah, that was my team for Brandon, and we had a good battle, so that's coming up right now. So I'll see you guys in that battle. Peace out. Hey guys, welcome to the actual battle. Almost like I started a new video there. So you saw the team builder, so you know what my team is. So let's go over what I think his team was at the time. I definitely think this was specially defensive Registeel. Just to soak up hits from the Prim. I'm either thinking this is Life Orb. I thought this was Life Orb attacking Landorus. I didn't know what the Uxie was. I actually couldn't place it. I thought maybe it was like screens or memento support. I didn't even expect the X-Plot to come, which is, you're going to see, is important in the battle. I didn't expect the X-Plot to come at all, but I'm thinking it specs Scrappy Boom Burst because I do have Trevenant. Whimsicott. I think the Whimsicott is just, I'll have Prankster status encoring Whimsicott before my Zardex. And the last mon being Manectric. Mega Manectric, obviously. 4 attacks. Heavy hitting. So yeah, that's what I think the team is. Now, I'm going to lead off. I don't have a designated lead, so I'm going to lead off Electros because it can handle whatever he wants to throw out comfortably. So he sends out Whimsicott. So my priority is to get this Whimsicott knocked off because if he's Trick, he won't have anything to trick. Leftover, getting rid of leftovers would be nice. Stuff like that. So he actually switches out into Registeel, and I hit him with the knockoff. So that does confirm to me that he is specially defensive because knockoff should not really be doing that much. If he was physically defensive. So he sets up his rocks as I go for Drain Punch. So knowing that he can't 1v1 me with this Registeel and I still have a Primarina around, I actually am predicting that he will preserve it, at least for now. Or maybe even predicting me to switch. He'll switch out into something else. So I am just going to go for knockoff again, as I do get that read right and he goes into Whimsicott. So now I'm just focusing on damaging the Whimsicott, and I actually go for HP Ice on his sub. So far this early game is going pretty good my way. As you can see, HP Ice only does 4 to that Registeel. So yep, he is like max calm or sassy. I don't know, one of the Spadef natures. So I am going to Drain Punch. So now his Registeel is pretty much useless, so he is going to sag it. Maybe go for a flinch to rack up more toxic damage. The Landorus comes here and it U-turns out, and based off that damage, it is kind of physical Landorus, or he has some investment. So this Boom Burst is going to take me out as I go into Cryogonal. Now I go into Cryogonal here is because I know I can defog and set up a screen. Now looking at the rest of his team, I'm thinking the best screen to set up is Light Screen because Special Attacker, Special Attacker, Special Attacker. Uxie's kind of unknown, and Landorus is, I mean, it has some physical investment. Probably just enough to knock out, like, Charizard. But then again, he has Earth Power, so I don't know why. So he goes for Boom. I go for Defog because I'm faster. He goes for Boom Burst. I am able to live that because Cryogonal is pretty bulky as I set up my screen. So I sat Cryogonal here because this allows me to bring in Charizard, and I can begin to set up Dragon Dances, which is nice. So he's going to go into Uxie and set up a Dragon Dance. Now I should have known going at when he went into this Uxie that obviously this Uxie was built for Mega Charizard X. So I'm looking at it, like, does it get this? Does it get that? I'm trying to see, like, how this Uxie beats my Mega Charizard X. So I DDD again, just because I know he can't one-shot me with anything, as Foul Play completely escapes my mind. I did not think about Foul Play at all. I probably should have. Going into Uxie was probably a giveaway that it was Foul Play, but it just escaped my mind. I had no idea that a Foul Play was coming. So I'm +2. If this Uxie is max bold, I do have a chance to take it out. I think it's slightly in his favor, but it's like 49 or 48 in mine. Something like that, if I remember the calc right. So I go for Flare Blitz and it does 99. And I died to my recoil. So yeah. So now I'm down to my last 3 mons. None of them are meant to be able to sweep a team. But Primarina being out does help, because he U-turns and something dies here as he decides to sack Whimsicott, which is a good call because it's what he needs the least probably. The Manectric comes out and I can go into my Assault Vest Tangrowth. Behind a light screen, I take attacks all day, every day. Yeah, 6% from a Volt Switch. Uxie comes out and yeah, I'm even going to be able to take it out with a knockoff. Ice Punch does decent amount because I actually am no defense investment. So now my attack is halved. So I'm just going, I actually decide I don't want anything to really take these hits. So I'm going for Earthquake. Because I can't bring in Prim there because that's obviously HP Ice. Let me talk about that. I couldn't go into Prim there because obviously it's a Manectric. Scream had 1 turn left. Um, so Prim would die, and I kind of need Prim to have a chance of winning this game. Couldn't go into Landorus there because he obviously just showed HP Ice, and he has an immunity, and I'm Scarfed, so I couldn't just lock myself into Earthquake. So this turn is actually pretty important. Let me just pause and yeah. So he goes for HP Ice. He brings me down to 32. Since I'm Assault Vest, Thunderbolt cannot take me out at all, like no matter what he does. And he has to, if he wants to take out this Tangrowth, he has to go for Overheat. So it's kind of like a mind game. I can go into Prim on the Overheat. He'll become -2, and Thunderbolt won't take my Prim out, and I will have Tangrowth do the Regenerator at decent health. But I actually thought he would read that, and he'd go for Thunderbolt on my Prim. Because the only move that he has to take me out is Overheat. That's if he packs it, and I'm pretty sure he does. So I decided to leave Tangrowth in, as it does go down to Overheat, which is still not awful, because now Thunderbolt cannot take me out at all. So Thunderbolt does 42. Moonblast takes out the... So this is where it kind of gets bad. I'm calcing, and it's only a certain set of X-Cloud where it's like fast. If he's not Modest, I believe I have a chance to live. It's slight, but I have a chance to live. But yeah, it wasn't a good chance. So my last mon is my Scarfed Landorus. Early game, I should have kept Electros around so I could superpower this and sack Electros. Because obviously I talked about it in my team builder, Landorus v Landorus at the end, explosion. But superpower takes it out, and since I don't have a mon to sack right here, this Landorus will be able to 1v1 me, which is unfortunate, because if I could have had something to sack, bring it back out, I could have boomed, and this boom would have O-code Landorus. And it's unfortunate, but I'm locked into superpower. I was tempted to boom on the X-Cloud, but I was like, let me just save differential. Which actually, no, it would have been 1-0 anyway. I could have boomed on X-Cloud, actually. I should have boomed on X-Cloud, I guess, but I don't know. Maybe there is a slight chance that I wouldn't win anyway. Yeah, I couldn't win against that Landorus being locked into superpower. So anyway, yeah, good game, Brandon. It was really fun. It was a good game. I enjoyed it, and unfortunately, I'm 0-2 right now, which is not a good look. But next week we go up against Christian, and I already played it. This is happening like 2 days before this is supposed to go up. So yeah, my game Christian already happened. It was also a good game. Kind of wacky. You'll see what I mean next week. Thank you guys so much for watching, and peace out.